The Peugeot 205 was one of the great motoring icons of the 1980s and early 90s. We British took to the Super Mini like a Frenchman to his bottle of wine. What we most liked about the 205 was, of course, the hot hatchback, the 205 GTI, first in 1.6 and later the cooking 1.9 version. It was a car to have fun in and could beat the pants off rivals like the XR2. The 205 has not been available in Britain for some 2 years now because Peugeot have been spending very heavily on the 205 successor. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the imaginatively titled Peugeot 206. Now, Peugeot have spent some 4 years and £630 million developing the 206. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of dosh. This car has to be absolutely spot on. What's more, it's being built at the Ryton plant near Coventry in Britain, so it's French flair and British hands that are building this car every day. The 206 sits on an entirely new platform with a range of body styles, 3- and 5-door hatchbacks, plus a coupe cabriolet due in a couple of years' time. Now, Peugeot have had to be very careful how they position the 206 into their ever-expanding range. The 106 is now a super mini, the 306 a small car, and this new 206 takes on the mantle super mini. And in so doing, Peugeot have taken the guillotine to parts of the 106 and 306 ranges, with the upper 106s being chopped and the lower model 306s also destined for the wicker basket. This is a car which will take on the new Clio, the Polo, the aging Fiesta, Corsa and Punto in an already crowded market. And to do that, it has to look good, feel good and be great to drive. Now, before you drive the 206, first you have to look at it and like it. Breathe in deeply, get that Gallic whiff. Think of all the packs of Gitane cigarettes that were smoked by the designers when they were working on it. It has a very French look to it. I always think that French cars have a certain look and style all of their own, and this is no different. It has the new Peugeot house style too, swept-back headlights and bonnet at the front, and this high roofline here in the centre, which gives excellent headroom. Now, inside the 206, the interior is functional without being outlandish. Everything is nicely laid out and easily at hand. This centre pod here, as well as housing this enormous hazard warning light, which unfortunately you have to reach for a little bit, also houses a display which will give you satellite navigation, should you choose it, as an option on the options list for the 206, and that's a first for a car of this particular size. The plastics disappoint though. Interior trim generally is very good. There are lots of different styles to choose from, and this Alcantara one in this particular model is very smart. The 206 will be available initially in 4 trim levels: L, LX, GLX and a so-called Sporty XS in 3 or 5 doors with 4 different engines to choose from. The entry 1.1 is 60 brake horsepower, the 1.4 70 horsepower, the 1.6 90 horsepower and a 1.9 turbo diesel which pumps out a heart-stopping 70 brake horsepower. Prices range from £8,495 for the 3-door 1.1L up to £11,295 for the 5-door 206 GLX 1.6 litre with air conditioning, and these prices are pretty much what you would expect to pay. There's no GTI yet, but we should see a 2-litre 136 brake horsepower unit in 1999, plus maybe a really cooking GTI 6 is rumoured to be on the cards, but it's wait and see on that, I'm afraid. So if you like the look of the 206, you particularly want to know how it drives, and that basically is very good. This is the 1.6 that we've been driving for the past couple of days, and this has a slightly firmer, sportier suspension than, say, the base 1.1 model, which gives it a nice feel. The gearbox is crisp and light and easy to use, the power steering nicely weighted, and the handling, on the whole, generally good. Push it hard into a corner and you'll come out safely the other side. The engines, well, there's a wide range of engines, 1.1, 1.4, 1.6. You need to rev them hard and they're very responsive, nice buzzy engines too. The 1.1, I would suspect though, with only 60 brake horsepower, will run out of steam very easily. Specification is high, with standard on all models, power steering, height adjustable steering column, driver's airbag, radio cassette immobiliser and tinted glass. Plus, apart from the base L model, you can choose to have either a glass sunroof or air conditioning. And in what must be a first for this class of car, on the top GLX model, a fully integrated satellite navigation system for just £800. Has it ever been cheaper? Peugeot have done some research into the small car market and predict that it's going to grow significantly in the UK in the next few years. Now, European countries and European cities really love their small cars, whereas perhaps in the UK, in the big cities, we find ourselves driving around in larger vehicles and 4x4s. Peugeot think that that could change, and they're very handily placed to pick up that change with their 106 and 306, and now with this new 206. So, have Peugeot come up with a winner in the new 206? Well, almost certainly yes. The styling's good, there's plenty of room inside for the passengers. Some would say it's a radical car. On the downside at the moment are the engines, which lack a bit of response and, quite frankly, lack a bit of oomph. You might be better going with, say, a Ford Fiesta. However, there is a GTI on the way, if that's what it's going to be called, and when that arrives, maybe then we'll see the 206 as a worthy successor to the 205, the much missed 205, and that is a compliment in itself.